just try to give you a little bit of perspective on what the next year is going to be like, not only for the young men, but for you guys, and then some of the young kids that are 2015 kids, what the next couple years will be like, and just some helpful advice, taking off the head coach of the University of Washington hat, and just a guy who's been doing this for the last 15 years, and some of the things that I think will make your lives a little bit easier, that ultimately make guys like myself's lives a little bit easier when things get done the right way. So first and foremost for us, so that you know this is our schedule next season. You've probably been staring out here for a while. Any one of these home games, so whether it's the Boise game, the Idaho State game, Arizona, Oregon, Cal, Colorado, and Washington State, at every one of those games, your sons can come to these games and they can get 3 tickets under their name. When they show up, they have to have a picture ID. If they don't come with an ID, there's nothing we can do. I don't care how many stars you have before or after your name, there's nothing we can do. Okay, so when they come with a picture ID, they can get 3 tickets and they can come to any one of those games free of charge. It's technically considered an unofficial visit, but really it's just coming to the ball game so that you know that's available to you. Next slide, please. See how this works. Look at that. Okay, one more slide. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the NCAA and qualifying and things of that nature and how it all works. Raise your hand if you know your son's guidance counselor. If you don't, go meet them, because they might not know all this stuff. Okay, this is important to know. The NCAA requires 16 core courses. Okay, Division II requires 14 core courses. Okay, Division I is going to require that 10 of those 16 core courses be finished prior to their 7th semester of high school. So that's really prior to their senior year. They have to finish 10 of the 16. Okay, and that has to have a combination of English, math, natural, or physical science. Okay? When you look at the breakdown of the 16 core courses, you must have 4 years of English, 3 years of math, that is Algebra 1 or higher. Okay? You have to have 2 years of natural or physical science, and it has to have a year of lab, and most high schools offer that. If your high school does not offer a science with a lab, okay, you got to get your counselor on this deal. 2 years of social science, and then 4 years of electives, okay, or additional courses that can come from any area. Foreign language, okay, it could be philosophy. What I will tell you that is mandatory here at the University of Washington just to get admitted into the school, never mind what the NCAA is asking, you must have 2 years of foreign language to get admitted into the University of Washington. So now is the time to get on that if that is not taking place. So then you move over to this sliding scale that the NCAA works off of here. So of these 16 core courses, they get to this GPA on the left. Okay? And I know sometimes you look at a high school transcript and there's a GPA at the bottom that says what it is. That's not how the NCAA operates. The NCAA doesn't take all of the PE credits and the different things. They only go off of these core courses that come to a core GPA. That core GPA marries up with an SAT score or an ACT score. Okay, so for example, if your son is a 3.0 student, to be NCAA eligible, they would need a 620 on the SAT and a 52 on the ACT. If, let's say, they're a 2.7 GPA, they would need a 730 SAT score or a 60 on the ACT. What is good about this is with the SAT, there's the 3 parts that we know, okay, and with the ACT, it gets broken out. The more times you take that test, the better off your kids are going to be at taking the test. So let's say the first time they take the SAT, and your son gets a 400 on the math, and a 400 on the reading comprehension, okay, to get to an 800 score of the 2 combined scores. And he goes and takes it again, and he gets a 500 on the math but only gets a 380 on the reading comprehension. The NCAA will take the 500 in the math from the last test, and then they'll take the 400 on the reading comprehension from the first test and combine the best of the both worlds to get you to a 900. So the more times you take it, the better off you are. Next slide. Same with the ACT for that matter. You do not have to take both. I encourage at least to take one of each, because sometimes kids do better on one test than the other. The ACT's broken out more, little shorter segments, where the SAT's got not as many segments, a little more drawn out. For us, and for any other university for that matter, that your son is considering going to school to or that is recruiting him, the sooner we can get unofficial transcripts in our hands, the better we can help in the process of what classes need to be taken, where they need to improve, things of that nature. So for us, if you're here, it means we're interested, and that means you're interested in us. This number right here is our fax number. The sooner we get transcripts, the better. Okay? I'll wait till everybody gets that number to make that happen. It should be on all of the cards of our coaches that were distributed to you as well. Good there? Almost. Any questions so far? Should be on any card from our coaches as well. Looks like my transcript up there. A lot of A's. Hardly. Okay, next slide. Okay. What does not come on the transcripts, which I think is common, you think is common knowledge, is the SAT scores a lot of times, and the ACT scores are not on those transcripts. Okay, so please try to include those. Also have them reported to the UW when they're taking the test. So when the kids go to take the test, they ask them, where would you like these scores sent? Have them include the University of Washington so that we get those scores sent to us, okay? Again, there's the fax number, but really the most important thing is when they sit down and take the test, make sure they include the University of Washington and where those test scores are getting sent so that we have access to them. Next slide, please. Okay, here's some upcoming dates. You can go to student.collegeboard.org for upcoming dates for the SAT, which is on the top left here. The next SAT date is March 9th. It's March 9th. You see it right there. The deadline for registering was yesterday, but you can register late. You can do a walk-up for that. The following one after that is May 4th. And then the next one after that is June 1st. When you look to the bottom right, the upcoming ACT dates are April 13th and June 8th. The sooner these guys start taking them, the better. They're probably not going to do their best on the first one that they take, okay? But they'll improve the more times that they take this test. Next slide, please. Okay, the next step in this process is registering your son with the NCAA and getting them an NCAA ID, okay? You do that by going to the eligibilitycenter.org, okay? You can use it, you can do it on your phone. All of these steps to get registered cost $65. It doesn't matter if your son comes to the University of Washington or not, or goes to any other school in the country. This has to happen. This has to happen for them to go on to college and to get cleared. So this is where it occurs. The eligibilitycenter.org. You get your son registered. You get your NCAA ID number, which is important to have and to remember for any school that's recruiting your son throughout this process. Okay?